Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher, and today is day 14, our last day of our Share the Love challenge. This has been so much fun. I feel like it has made me enjoy February even more, just taking a little bit of time each day to reflect and just have a few minutes of calm. So I have really loved that. On the other hand, I feel like it has flown by because, to be honest, on day one, I was like, man, 14 days seems like a really long time. And here we are. So, wow, thank you so much for sticking with me and doing these. I wish I could go through the whole month of February. I just need a little break from the day to day, like everyday videos. However, there is something called Zentangle, and I was going to look up who did that, and I forgot. But if you're looking for more fun heart things to do, look up Zentangle, and you can keep on drawing. No one's going to stop you. Okay, so today is day 14. So we finished, see if I can find my first one here. We did these 12 beautiful heart tiles. We did a beautiful heart one yesterday. Today we're actually going to learn 2. So we're going to do day 14 plus a little bonus. And then we are going to finish up our poster. Okay, I'm so excited. All right, so the other thing I want to show you is, you can see I've already cut some things out of the bottom here, but if you printed out this template, you have some extra little tiles that you can add more heart tangles to, or cut out, use whatever you want. But I am going to cut out every single one of mine, and then I'm going to write the name of the tangle and the artist on the back. So just like I did for a fragment of your imagination. And then I just made this little tiny cover. I just wrote Share the Love, nothing fancy, added a little border and some gold. And I'm going to cut them out, and they're all going to be on here to toss into my little drawing bag that I take with me wherever I go. And then that was such a cute idea. I can't remember who told me. Maybe, I don't even want to say a name because I'm probably going to get it wrong. But anyway, on my Facebook page, Let's Tangle, somebody posted their fragment little notebook, and they added this for the cover, which I thought was such an amazing idea. So I just took the first page of the handout from 7 Forests 5 Rivers, and when I pushed print, I said just to print page 1, and then I pushed it down to, I think, 25%. And then it made it small enough for me to cut out and add on here. But I love that. I love that little cover for the fragments. So super cute. Okay, are we ready? I'm gonna zoom in here. There we go. I'll grab my black pen. And let's see. All right, like I said, we're doing 2 different ones. So one of them is called Lace Heart. Make sure okay. Day 14, Lace Heart. And I'm not exactly sure how to say her name. And I believe she is a CZT. Lace Heart. All right, this one is, it's just elegant, and it makes me think of the little lace doily hearts that, I don't know, I feel like I used them a lot when I was in elementary school for little projects and making Valentines for people. So it's such a pretty little delicate one. Okay, so we're just gonna start with a heart. And then at the bottom, I'm going to put this little loop in. And then I'm just going to start doing bumps. So because this comes down to a little V there, it's a little bit harder to squeeze in, 2 bumps there. So I'm going to do one like that. just going to keep going around, and I'm just trying to keep these kind of even. Now here I just need a tiny one, that's okay. But just sort of get into a rhythm of whatever size, however high you want them, however wide you want them. And then inside each one, we're just going to add this teeny tiny dark circle. And then we very carefully add a delicate aura around the whole thing. That's it. That's lace heart. Isn't it pretty? I'm going to do a larger one right here. Add that little thing on the bottom just so I don't forget it. We just put in these pretty little bumps on the outside. Add that little dark dot in the center. And aura. I love it. What a fun one to end on. And then the center can be kept blank, or of course you could add, I don't know why my table's so wiggly today. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. It's going to be really wiggly for a minute. I think my table or chair is bumping it. Okay, that might be better. You could add a word. You could add, I don't know, whatever you want. But isn't that pretty? So lace heart. Okay. The last one we're going to do, let me see, what did I decide? Oh yes, heart flare. I wrote 15, even though we're not really doing day 15. Heart flare. And I'm probably going to say her name wrong also, but Nidhi Prakash. She does a lot of beautiful mandalas and beautiful tangles. Okay, so heart flare. I love this one because it's just completely unique. So it just is, I'm going to put like a little line across here to make it on, so it's not just sitting at the bottom. But it is like a little fingernail size. And we ink that in. If you want to leave a little reflection, you can. And then you can decide how many layers you want to put on here. So I'm going to do 2 lines. And then I'm going to put this little row of circles. She does this on hers. And then you can put little patterns in these as well. Okay, here's where the little fun part comes. We're going to put a wiggly line down. And I'm going to put one out the side and one out that side. And then one on each of those top corners. At the top, we're just going to put a little dark circle. And then all the way down these, we're just gonna put little tiny dark hearts. It's up to you how many you want to add, how many you can fit. So cute. And then she does this little embellishment where she puts 4 dots, kind of in the shape of a diamond. Isn't that pretty? So I feel like this one would be a great one, like on the edge of a piece. I don't think it'd work as well like inside of a tile because it'd be hard to make another tangle kind of bump up against it, but I love it for an embellishment. So I promise you, I tried to pick 14, I guess 15 very different and unique ones. So we didn't have a bunch of them that were just hearts with an embellishment, right? I really wanted to show you all different ones, and I think this one is very unique. So heart flare, we're gonna add these two. All right, I'm gonna grab my poster. I'm so excited to finish this. I'm also a little sad to be done. All right, here we go. All right, so there is our love poster. If this is the first video you've tuned into, then you're in luck. You've got 13 previous days that you can go back and watch, but also the templates for the little tiles and for this poster are linked in the description of this video. Okay, and some of you have been doing this in a sketchbook or on a different piece, and that is absolutely wonderful. Okay, let's finish this up. I'm excited. Okay, so we're gonna do our 2 tangles, and then we're just gonna add a few finishing touches and sign it and date it, and then we will be done. All right, so I'm going to go into this heart over here, and I'm going to do lace heart on the inside of it. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on that. All right, that's pretty good. And if you have, like my gold pen kind of got wide here, I can add some more black ink. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to. Fill mine out a little bit. Okay. So originally I was going to try to do some sort of a grid pattern in this, but then I saw lace heart and just thought it would look so pretty. So I'm going to begin by doing it along the outside of the existing heart, okay? So we're going to pretend that we just drew this heart. At the bottom, I want to put in that loop so I don't forget. I can even add the little dot in there. And then we're going to put those bumps all the way around. It is up to you if you want to go over the gold or you want to go to the edge of the gold. I'm not too concerned about whatever I'm doing, so I think it looks good with a little bit of the gold inside it, but it's up to you. Put those bumps all the way around, and then we add those dark little circle details. Try really hard not to rub your hand over that, because I think the ink on the gold probably doesn't dry as quickly as it does on regular paper. But look at that, we just did a tangle. We just did lace heart. Okay, now I'm going to do lace heart again on the inside. Oh, I forgot the aura around the whole thing. So let's do that. Getting ahead of myself tonight. Just gonna go all the way around. And I've said this many times, but the aura is just like a hug, like it just brings it all together. Look at that. So pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to do a heart on the inside and repeat the lace heart pattern. So I just want to leave myself enough room to put in those bumps and an aura. So I'm going to start here and end about here. Just giving myself about a pen width on each side. And then I'm just going to go out nice and wide and down, imagining this being about the same width all the way around, but not worrying about it, you know, being exact. Okay, and then I'm going to put that little bump in the bottom before I forget. And then I put those bumps. Don't be afraid to make them nice and tall. I don't even know if that's the right word for it, but add in those little circles for detail. And now I'm going to aura all of that. So much concentration. Okay, so now we've got this little outside edge here that I think I'm going to do some red ink on, and then I have the inside. So here's a couple of options. One option is that's where you can put your initials or the date, you know, if that's where you kind of want to sign your work. Another idea is to put one of these. What was that called? That was called Holly Heart. Holly Heart. So you could put a holly heart in the center to give it just a very different texture in the middle. You could also do just another little lacy heart. So it's up to you. What am I going to do? I hadn't decided yet, you guys. All right, let me see. I think I'm going to draw a heart. And I'm going to, I don't know why this is such a big decision. I'm going to ink it in, but leave like a little reflection, because I feel like this needs a little dark area down here. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna put a very thin aura around that. Okay, I like that. Doesn't that look good? All right, so let's shade this before we add any color. So to shade it, I'm going to put a little bit around the outside of the whole thing, and just so light with my pencil. And kind of quick, like I'm not being very specific or particular about it. Just want to get a little bit of that graphite there. See what a tiny amount that is? But it gives it a little shadow. And you can always go back and add more graphite too if you would like it to have a darker edge. I like that. Then I'm going to go on the inside edge of this heart. And right along the bottom of that letter E, because it's going to overlap that heart anyway. Soften that just a little bit along that edge. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to go on the outside scalloped edge of this inner heart. Somebody recently asked about the lead in these little Zentangle pencils, and the Zentangle website says it's HB, which I can't remember exactly what that means, but if you're looking to match it and you don't have the Zentangle brand pencil, an HB lead is what this is. It's nice. I love it. It has easy to work with. All right, got that little shadow under there. Then I'm going to do the inside edge of this one. Now I could have chosen to put the shadow where those little bumps are, but they were so tiny and delicate that I thought we would just put the shadow on the inside. But there's really no rules. You could put it wherever you want. Then I'm going to put it on the outside of this tiny heart. Soften that and soften that. I love it. All right, I'm gonna grab my red pen. I almost don't want to add a background. I kind of like the white, but I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it on the inside, just this little outer edge here. So I'm just going to put in those delicate little red lines that we have done on other ones. It's very subtle, it's very pretty. And I'm not matching these from one side to the other, just because I think that would be too complicated. Isn't that pretty? All right, I love that. You can even color this inside area gold if you want, but I kind of like it just the way it is. That feels finished to me. Okay, that was Tangle number 1, or number 14. So we've got one more to do, and that is Heart Flare. So Heart Flare, I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to do one down here in this little area, and then I'm also going to put one over here on this edge. And the reason for that is I like this little kind of a flare coming out of this one, and I want to have some of that look over here. So I'm going to do one down here and one over here. Okay, zoom back in. Here we go. This is like your bonus video, you guys. You get 2 tangles and then a few embellishment things also. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly just because there's not a lot to it. You can always pause the video. But I'm going to start with that like a fingernail sized half circle, and I'm going to color it in, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a reflection. And then we're going to aura it. bit. And in that one, I'm gonna put some little stripes. You could do that in red, actually. I didn't think about that before I started inking them in. Then I'm going to do another aura. And then those little round circles. Again, it is up to you how many circles, or I mean how many of these little auras you put in. I like adding these little circles. It feels very delicate. Okay, so now we get to put in those little flares, the little heart flares. So I'm going to do my first one up here. Do one over there and over there. And then I can't really go straight across, or I could and it could just disappear, but I'm going to angle it a little bit on both sides. At the top, we're going to put that little circle. Of course, you could put a heart if you want. And then those little hearts coming down. What a fun little pattern. Don't have much room for that one, that's okay. It's so pretty. Then we can add the 4 little dots in a diamond formation. I love it. If you feel like you have too much space, you could add another little squiggle coming up the center, maybe even just part way up. I won't do it, but you could add some to fill in space if you would like, or some little floating hearts. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of shading on this, and then I'm gonna add some red and gold. So for the shading, I'm gonna go on the outside of these bumps to give this whole rounded piece here a little shadow. Look at that. The shading just adds so much, even though it's just a little bit. I just love it. Okay, and then I'm going to take my blending tool that already has some graphite on it, and I'm going to go right along the side of those little flares, just to give the slightest little shadow. All right, grab my Sakura paint pen. Dot it a few times, make sure the ink is coming out. All right, and I'm going to do gold right here on that little line where the black is. And then I'm going to do it on that next little row of white as well. And then where I have those gold dots, or the black dots, I'm just gonna add a little gold one, kind of on top of it, but a little bit of the black still showing. Can you see that okay? And then if, like me, you covered up some of that black ink and you want it back, then just go back over that gold. Let's zoom out and peek at that. Isn't that so cute there? I love it. I love all the different textures and things we have going on. Okay, so I'm gonna do another one over here. And I'm hoping that my phone does not run out of battery while I'm filming. It was getting so low. And I thought, oh, I can do it. And it's already been a half-hour video, so hopefully it doesn't stop on me. All right, so I'm gonna add one of those heart flares over here. I'm gonna take some scrap paper and cover up my piece so that my hand is not rubbing anything I've already drawn or shaded. Okay, so up here I'm gonna do that nice big, I forgot to add the little accent, but that's okay. Add a nice dark fingernail size bump. Aura. Aura. I'm gonna leave the first one blank so I can add some gold. The second one, I'm gonna do a zigzag this time just to change it up. Then I'm gonna do another aura that's gonna be gold. And then those little circles. All right, now to add the fun little heart flares. I like to start with that top one. And I made this one larger, so I really have room to add more flares if I want them, so I'm going to. Put that little dark circle on top. Or a heart, of course. And then we add the little hearts coming down. Because I made this one bigger, I think I've got room for 3 hearts on each strand this time. Maybe some will have 3 and some will have 2. I hope you guys are not tired of hearts yet. It's been so much fun. I like having this bit of dark ink over on this side of the paper as well. I really like that. All right, after you get your little hearts in, you can add those cute little bundles of 4 dots. I'm going to add a little bit of shading before I add the gold. And I'm just going to do like I did before. I'm going to go along the outside edge of these circles. Push that out and away. Beautiful. Back to my gold. All right, let's fill in these pretty little white lines, make them nice and shiny and golden. I'm going to add a few gold dots out here. And with my blending tool that already has some graphite on it, I can go along the side of these wiggly lines. I forgot to do that. All right, we got in our heart flare, which I think they look so cute on opposite sides, and it kind of balances out the flare that's coming out there. And if you wanted to, for fun, I'm just gonna do it, but I can take one of these and like extend it out, and I could put little hearts on there just to match the heart flare. Isn't that kind of cute? Maybe I'll add some little hearts to a couple of these. There, they kind of match each other. Okay, so that was the end of the tangles, but now we've got to fill in a few little spaces, right? So on the L, we did lava, which I really enjoyed, and now we've got all this extra space. And I didn't really end up doing any more little tiny like filler tangles. Everything sort of, you know, was kind of large or had its own shape or purpose. So inside here, I thought it would be fun to do the, let me see, where did my piece go? Yes, this one right here with the hearts and flowers. I just feel like, and what was that one called? That was called Heart and Flower. Wow, look at that. And I thought that would be fun to put like in a little curve right here to fill in this area. So what I'm going to do is take my pencil really lightly, and I'm just going to draw a line kind of through that center of that white space. And then I'm going to start by drawing a decent size heart. I'm not going to go too tiny on this because I've got a lot of space to fill. And then I'm following that line, so I'm going to put in the little heart next. And then remember we had that petal that came down low, straight down where the next heart's going to be. So I put that petal in first, and then I can fill in the sides with petals. And I'm just letting these tuck in behind the one I already have. Now it's time for another heart. Ink in that little spot where that petal meets the heart. Put in that circle. Remember not to make it too tiny. And then that bottom petal. After you get in the bottom petal, go ahead and fill in the rest of the petals. Time for another heart. Ink in any spaces if you need to. Add that circle under the heart. Petal. And then fill in with more petals. And I'm at the bottom, so my last little heart is just going to be part of a heart. I'm going to look back over here at heart and flower that we did, and we put some red inside the petals and some gold in the middle, so I'm going to do that again over here. But before I do that, I'm going to add some reflections on the sides of the hearts. Just a little line and a dot, a line and a dot. And then I'm going to aura all of that. And I'm just like bumping into the other letters or the other tangle and just imagining where that's coming out in the other sides. I hope that, like mine, you filled in a lot of space with that one. All right, we're gonna do some quick shading. I really wanted to keep this under an hour for you guys. All right, so to shade that one, I'm gonna go underneath the bottom of those hearts. And then I'm gonna go around those circles. Under the bottom of the heart, around the circle. I like how these two look side by side. I feel like they match well. Okay, I'm going to put in my tiny little red petals inside the other petals. It would also be pretty if you did that in gold. And then I'm going to take my gold and I'm going to fill in the whole center of these ones. Okay, so now to finish this letter L, I'm going to take my red and I'm going to put in those little background stripes. If you have big areas, go ahead and throw in an orb. Go ahead and just throw in a little circle, and you could make it gold. You could even do, here, I'll do one right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If you've got a big spot, you could put in a large circle. Then you could put a smaller circle inside of it and do that in gold. See how that just matches what we have going on? I'll do another one down here. Large circle, and then a smaller circle inside of it. I'll do one over here as well. I like the look of those aura'd gold circles. Now I'm going to do my red, and I'm going to try really hard not to put my hand on that wet gold. I probably should have made this a two-part video, but that's okay. You guys are still here. You're still following along. Putting all these little red lines in the background, in between tangles if you have space. Step back and look at that, see if there's any spots you missed, but look at how nice that turned out. I love it. I'm also going to put red stripes in the back of the letter V where I had the heart and flower over there. If you have a lot of space over there, you could add some orbs as well. And look at now, our letter V is finished. Okay, so what I have left is this heart over here, and you've got a lot of options. So mine turned out really small in there, which I think is very pretty, and it kind of reminds me of the lace heart over here because we've got some white space in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the lace heart around the outside kind of quickly. And I'm going to go like right up to the gold on this one, just to be a little bit different than the other one. I'm going to put bumps all the way around it just to make this heart look kind of pretty and fancy and not just a plain heart. Put that loop at the bottom. Add that little dot. Look how fancy it made this heart. And I'm going to aura it. That is so pretty. Okay, now inside this heart, I'm going to do an aura on the inside. And then I'm just going to do the background in those red stripes again. But I'm going to do it not in that white space, just on this background area. So I said there were lots of options. You could do like the LG, the Love Grows, and put that all around there. You could add orbs, you could add small hearts, but I don't know, I kind of like it just open like this. It sort of looks like a snowflake, and it is February, so where I live, right now we don't have snow, but typically February is a snowy month, so I feel like it kind of goes with our theme. Okay, I really like how that turned out. And of course I forgot to shade first. I'm gonna put some shading on the inside edge of that heart and on that edge where the L goes over it. I did it kind of dark and kind of thick because it's such a big area that it will be just fine with a lot of graphite. And look, I'm going to soften that and push that up into the heart. Oh, look how pretty that looks. And that edge where the L is, I'm going to pull that out right over the heart and over Spud. That turned out amazing. I'm also going to grab my graphite pencil, and I didn't do it on the edge of the O where it goes over the L. So I'm going to put some along that edge, push that out, try not to hit my gold in case it's still wet. I think all the other ones we did. Are we done, you guys? Are we done? What do you think? Okay, I think it looks amazing. So the only little finishing touches I think that we should do are I doubled some of these border lines in case you wanted to decorate them. So you could put some little hearts in there. If you wanted to. You could do a zigzag or some circles. You could do something with the gold. So you've got options there. I think down here I'll just put some dark circle dots. Isn't that pretty? And this one down here, I'll do some gold dots. You can also take your gold pen and just randomly, like, look, I'm going to put 3 dots by that letter V. I'm going to put 3 dots up here by the letter E. It needs more ink. There we go. Ooh, those are really wet. I have to make sure I don't touch those for a while. I can put some along the top of this O. Put a few down here. And up here. I could just play with this gold pen all day, you guys. I forgot to put them on the top of our heart flare, so I'm going to add some gold dots there as well. I love this, you guys. I love it. All right, I think I'm going to be done. The only other thing that I kind of feel like we should do, but we don't really have time because my battery's gonna run out. But let me just show you. Putting some graphite around the whole word love. Look at that. It's gonna make that word kind of pop off of the sheet a little bit. I gotta be careful because I don't want to touch those gold dots we just did. But when I kind of sat back and looked, I was like, you know what? This whole thing could use a little shadow. Look how pretty that's going to be if I shade that whole word. Okay, I'm going to shade it off camera, but look at that. Thank you so much to all of the artists that designed all of these beautiful tangles for us. Thank you so much to everybody who followed along and shared the love for 14 days. I could not appreciate you more. It is Valentine's Day. I feel love for all of you. I feel love for everybody who takes time to draw and takes time for themselves. And I just appreciate all of you so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining in on Share the Love. And share your work on my Let's Tangle page. And for the rest of this month, I believe I'm just going to be doing the Friday night 15 minutes of Zentangles, and then the Monday mandalas, and I don't know, maybe throw in a class. We'll see. I'm not sure. And then it's going to be March, and we'll see what's going to happen for March. But kept it just under an hour. Thank you so, so much. Again, I hope that you enjoy your poster, and we'll see you soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.